All right, let's get into the action now as we continue our special series on the Nile River. Mohammed is joining me now live from Aswan. Hi there, Mohammed. What do you have in store for us today?
Yeah, we've done lots of things, Beatrice. It's a full moon night today and the weather is fascinating. It's just magic here. I wish you were all here with us in Aswan. We still track the mighty Nile in its journey across Egypt. Yesterday we took you to Komombo and the Nubian village. Today we'll take you over to Luxor with lots of things and places to visit there. You can't miss the temples of Karnak, Luxor and Hatshepsut, as well as the Valley of Kings and Queens. You wouldn't like to miss the old market or the souk, where you can buy presents and souvenirs for all your friends and families back there home. It's wonderful here in Aswan in the company of my co-anchor Penina. How was your trip this afternoon, Penina?
It was fantastic, Mohammed. I visited the Philae temple and it was just an incredible feeling stepping into those chambers and just knowing that those were the chambers where the pharaohs and the high priests would offer their sacrifices to the gods. I mean, it was just an incredible feeling. You try to visualize that and just know that you're right in the middle of great history. And of course, Egypt is known for its ancient sites. Now, the historic city of Luxor is where we find the Valley of Kings and Queens. Let's get more from Yasser Hakim.
It's dawn, and I'm about to get a unique perspective of some of Egypt's most famous sites. This is one of the most popular ways to enjoy Egypt's full experience. We're in a balloon nearly 400 meters above the ground. And as you can see, there's the Nile River right behind us. Right below us, you can see the Valley of the Queens and the Valley of the Kings. There's a lot around you. Those are the remains of what was Egypt's biggest temple. You can see how far it might have stretched. And the two statues that guarded the gates, they're known as the Colossi Memnon, or rulers of the dawn. Over here is the Valley of the Kings. The kings and queens were not buried together. The queens are on the other side. Here there are around 60 tombs of the kings during the pharaoh's times, but throughout the years, every one of them was looted some way or another. Thieves have been stealing Egypt's treasures for millennia. Even today, there's a steady trade in stolen artifacts, and many were taken from this area around Luxor. Back on the ground, there's little left to steal at the Colossi, although experts are still hunting for fragments of the statues left scattered around the site. Ahmed Al-Tayyib is an archaeologist from the Antiquities Ministry.
Since 1998, this come Dr. Horik Suzian with European missions has come to here and make a temple without temple. This missions is make a restoration for each pieces here. We will make the wall, big wall to all the temple to protect him the first. Then we will back all the statue we found it here to back it to the temple and to the king.
There is still one treasure left here, and it's on the side of the Colossi.
As you can see here, it depicts the river god Habi, and he's putting together the lotus and the papyrus, two of the most valuable items for the pharaohs. And what it symbolizes is simply uniting Egypt's north and south together. It's a powerful statement of nationhood and a reminder that Egypt's heritage is a gift from the past, and preserving it is our duty to future generations.
The problem of stolen anti-crafts is like a global problem. Without the cooperation of international community, it is unlikely to be solved. And now we go to the social media. We have many sayings. We have a saying from Munir Tafida from Nigeria. These artifacts have meanings to the owners. It's like a heritage. It has its importance attached to it, which only the original owners can define.
I also have a comment here, Mohammed, from Uganda, and this is Atuhaire Ino, who says, a stick belongs to he who cut it, but not to he who finds it. So they must bring them back to where they belong. Now, we're live from Aswan. It's a beautiful night here. It's warm. We're right next to the Nile. Just a bit of boat activity. You can see some boats lined up here, and this is just about the time when people take their boat rides because it's pleasantly cool. And right across the river is the Elephantine Island. Now, this island used to be the administrative capital of Aswan. It is also where the god of the river Nile, known as Happy, used to reside. And there is now a museum that was built there. It was actually put up just before the construction of the Aswan Old Dam. And that museum houses all of the prehistoric pieces that were found on that island just before the construction of the Aswan Dam. There is also one tradition here in Egypt that's been sustained over the years, and that is the art of brickmaking. Here's Fahmida Miller.
For more than 100 years, Muhammad Salama's family's been dredging the mud from the Nile and using it to help transform the landscape of this Luxor community. They make around 60,000 bricks a month, enough to build an average home. The labor-intensive technique is unchanged since antiquity.
Mohammed, now that you've started mixing the mud, can I help you? Wow, this is quite thick. The mud is rich in clay. They've also mixed straw into it, and that's just to bind it. And one of the other elements is manure, which I'm not too thrilled about, but it works.
Once the clay's been properly mixed, it's transported to the courtyard where Mohammed shows me how to craft my first brick.
It seems easy enough, at least after some instruction, and now it's when we appreciate the sweltering heat. The bricks are going to lay here under the sun. Mohammed, how long do we need to leave them here to dry?
15 يوم.
So at least 15 days. It takes 15 days, they'll stay under the sun, dry out, and then that's when they'll be taken to what they call the amina, a fire where the bricks bake just to make them more sturdy.
Around once a month, Mohammed will stack raw dried bricks and light a fire beneath them. He uses the wood of date palm trees for fuel to keep the bricks at the right temperature.
This is backbreaking work. Why have you done it for so long?
ان دي الشغلانه دي يعني بتاعت اجدادنا وطلعنا لقيناها كده، فاحنا عايزين شغلانه يعني بنشتغل ونجد ونتعب على اساس طبعا ايه نوفر شغلانه احسن لاولادنا، يكون احسن مننا يعني في العيشه وفي الشغل.
The process of firing was introduced by the Romans almost 2,000 years ago. It further strengthens the bricks and gives them a more golden color. Archaeological finds have shown mud bricks date back as long as Egyptian civilization. But this 5,000-year-old industry is now in danger of dying out.
After 24 hours in the fire, the brick is ready to use. The question is, will it last another 5,000 years?
You know, there is a saying that Egypt is a gift from the Nile, and you almost get this essence of that saying when you watch Fahmida's story of the brick making here in Egypt, where people basically get the mud and use that mud to make or construct buildings. And you know, brick making, Mohammed, isn't unique to Egypt. It's actually very common in Africa, and especially rural Africa.
Unfortunately, Benina, it is a dying handcraft nowadays in Egypt. But anyway, we continue our track of the journey of the Nile River across Egypt tomorrow. We'll be talking about the Nile River, keeping the environment and the cleanliness of water. We'll also be talking about the Nile River and its effect on people, irrigation, agriculture, depending entirely on the Nile here in Egypt. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. We'll be joining you tomorrow at 10 GMT and 1700 GMT. Thanks for watching. Back to the studio.
Thank you there, Mohammed and Penina, and we'll see you again tomorrow as we continue this fascinating journey down the River Nile.